To me, this was a very eye-opening, personally astounding discovery. And I just happened to stumble on it, which there's no stumbling on anything. I asked my mother and father for signs, and they give them to me, and I do my best to try to discern what's my bullshit side trying to bullshit me and the truth. And I stumble on this, and I say, thank you very much. Couldn't be more grateful, because this is like life-changing for me. Because all this does is the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction chaos that it's going to bring. It's just history repeating itself. It's not speculation. It's not theory. It's not bullshit. It's merely history repeating itself. I'm going to show you without a shadow of a doubt right here. So this makes it even better because this is all the way back from 1996, man. Talk about an amazing discovery for me. This was huge. I couldn't have been more grateful for this one. So this was like a blog basically written by this guy named Richard Noel, an astrologer, back in October 17th, 1996. And so here he is, right? The Clinton administration wasn't even in the White House yet. And as a guest on Pat McMahon's KTARM 620 radio show in Phoenix, I was asked to predict President Clinton's future. My reply to that question on January 1st, 1993 was, who cares, because we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the prediction. There was more to my prediction regarding the presidency than the simple statement that Mr. Clinton would only be a one-termer. I also added that whatever candidate's term of or election to office as U.S. president includes the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in the year 2000 will not survive his tenure. Since the term of office that goes with the November 5th, 1996 election runs from January 1997 to January 2001, and since the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction of May 28, 2000 falls within that span, it follows either that I'm way off base or whoever wins the 1996 election has a reduced life expectancy. Now, that didn't happen exactly, but pretty incredible because Clinton was indeed impeached. So he predicted some sort of event in the presidency, and that is exactly what happened. So he predicted that the guy wouldn't survive it. But he was wrong. But it was pointing to some sort of event that something was going to happen, and that is indeed what happened. Right? In 2000, we had the dot-com bubble, and we also had all the Y2K hysteria. Now, granted, you want to say it's stretching. What I'm going to show you is not stretching, and this is going to blow your mind. The 20-year presidential death cycle that began with William Henry Harrison's death in 1841 was for some time known as Tecumseh's curse. A Shawnee chief Tecumseh had the vision to recognize as early as 1806 that the growing United States posed a lethal threat to his race. Together with his brother, Tecumseh attempted to organize a pan-tribal confederacy to fight the growing menace. He was killed by American forces under the command of William Henry Harrison at the Battle of Thames in Canada on October 3, 1813. When Harrison's presidency was cut short by his death of pneumonia on April 4, 1841, the first time death had touched the White House, there were those who believed that Tecumseh had put a curse on the United States. As the roll call of American presidents who died in office at 20-year intervals grew, the legend of Tecumseh's curse grew with it. Folklore aside, the correspondence between the Earth sign series of Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions and death in the White House is simple and straightforward, as described in my article for Horoscope. The first Earth sign alignment of those two planets after the end of the fire sign series occurred during William Henry Harrison's term of office. The second conjunction came in Lincoln's term. Lincoln was assassinated. The third alignment fell during the Garfield administration. Garfield was assassinated. The fourth occurred in the McKinley regime. McKinley was assassinated. The fifth fell in Harding's term. Harding died in office. The sixth alignment happened during Franklin Delano Roosevelt's third term. Roosevelt died in office. The seventh time Jupiter and Saturn aligned in Earth signs coincided with the Kennedy administration. Kennedy was assassinated. The 1981 alignment slipped out of the Earth element, falling into the air sign Libra. I correctly predicted that the 1980 to 81 triple conjunction would be different because it occurred in an air sign. I'll admit to sweating that one on the day President Reagan got shot, but his survival vindicated the prediction after all. In the same article, I pointed out the obvious. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction returns in 2000 in an Earth sign once more. So look at all this shit, man. It's all right here. And then there was one in 2000 I didn't even know of, apparently, that a live grenade, which just didn't detonate, was thrown at George W. Bush, which was planned, obviously. I mean, it's all right here. We're in for some shit, man. We are. And I'm going to stand by my prediction because Trump's presidency lasts all the way to January of 2021. So if he doesn't make it to January 20, 2021, he didn't serve a full term. So I'm going to stick with that Obama was indeed my prediction from a year or two ago before I even learned any of this stuff. I really think that Obama is going to be the last American president, ... to serve a full term. And so I took this even a step further. I was like, what about volcanoes? It's all right here. I found an article from Live Science that had the top 10 the biggest and best volcanic explosions up to present day. And look at them. These are the years they happened. And after them are the years of the conjunctions. So a conjunction happened 6 years after this huge explosion. 7 years after this big explosion, 2 years after this 2 years before a conjunction this time, 1 year after a conjunction, 2 years after a conjunction, 3 years before a conjunction, 4 years before a conjunction, 5 years after a conjunction, and then one they left out, which apparently I guess wasn't that bad compared to all these, because these are the 10 biggest and baddest of all time. Mount St. Helens, 1980, the year of a Saturn and Jupiter triple conjunction. So we're coming up in this one of 2020. Look at all the volcanic activity. I mean, Signs Point, man, it's all right here. This is truly exciting time to be alive. I mean, there's no way around it. And then you got to throw in that they're going to do some bullshit in the sky with the aliens or whatever the case. They got some shit's just going to get weird over the next couple years for sure. It's all right here, everybody. There's no way around it. It's history repeating itself. And holy cow, tied in with these volcanoes. Okay, there you go.